Hello, Marcus Pearce here. Hope you are absolutely flying. There is so much going on in the world at the moment, so I hope that you are enjoying your life. Now, you know me, I'm a pretty optimistic kind of guy, but there's an elephant in the room when it comes to business, particularly when it comes to health and personal development businesses, really any business. But as you know, my core competence really comes down to helping people with personal development, their whole entire life, their exceptional life. And obviously, because I work with the Wellness Couch and I run the Wellness Couch podcast network, I have an affinity with helping people with their businesses that are involved in health. Now, there are 4 big things people aren't doing that I really want to help you not to do. Because if you can master these 4 steps, then I can tell you right now, you are not going to have the challenges that a lot of people have in their business, particularly getting it off the ground. But if you have already got it off the ground and your business is well established, then what I'm about to share with you has a great potential to take your business to the next level. What's the first one? Now, they all start with C, by the way. So call it 4 C's, not 4X, call it 4 C's, not a B. It's just my 4 C's of success. Now, the first one, a lot of people don't like this because they feel like it's aggressive, but I'm going to tell you what it is. A lot of people don't have the conviction required to get their business either super successful or up and running. Now, there's 2 parts to this conviction. There's conviction in your message, and there's conviction in your business, or should I say, just your products. So first of all, let's talk about your message. So let's use myself as an example. Exceptional Life Blueprint. I have to tell people with conviction that being the exception to the rule is a far better path to go down than being mediocre, to being ho-hum, to being the status quo, to being average. I don't want to go, look, I kind of think being exceptional is a good idea. I kind of hope that being exceptional is the better way. I need to tell people without any shadow of a doubt that being exceptional requires you to do not what everyone else is doing, but to do what you feel is best for you, and to do what the 1 or 2 or 3% is doing and not the 97%. And that must be shared with conviction. With conviction comes energy, with conviction comes passion, with conviction comes inspiration. And this is what is missing from so many people. If they want to start a business, they're like, oh, you know, I don't really know. And there's a trepidation. And that leads us into the second C. But before I jump ahead of myself, conviction in our business or our products. A lot of people go, you know what, I know the message, like I feel so strongly about, you know, the paleo diet or CrossFit or exercise or helping people with improving their skin or helping people with improving their relationships or their kids or what they feed their kids or their jobs or whatever it is. They feel so inspired by it, but when it comes to actually selling a product, they're like, would you like to buy my program? Would you like to buy my book? And they don't actually really strongly show that they believe in it. They don't actually go, you know what, this is a phenomenal product. This is great value. You need to be really, really, really proud of the fees that you charge. You do not want to be hiding behind how much you charge. And that truly comes with a conviction, not only in your message, but in the work that you are doing. For example, my Exceptional Life Blueprint online program, I love it. I'm happy to tell people it's $4.97. If you want to come to the live event, it's $9.97 with the program. And I think that's great value. I think if someone was to spend $500 to $1,000 on themselves and do the work, they are going to value their life so much more, and they're going to value the product. If I gave it to them for $5, I'll tell you what, no one would open it, because we don't value things that we don't pay much for. We generally value things when we pay for something. You can look at any example, whether it's a car, we're much more likely to value a $60,000 BMW than we are a $3,000 beat up Datsun. And people go, oh, I love Datsuns. This is not about your car, okay? This is about value. You have to feel in love with the value that you give. You need to have strong convictions about it. But where does this fall down? It falls down here. Confidence. A lot of people don't have the confidence in themselves to actually have the conviction to share their message and to sell their product. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that you just put up the white flag and go, oh, stuff this, I'm actually not going to do it. I'm not going to start this business, or I'm not going to take this business to the next level. If you're a practitioner, the big challenge for you here is to go from one to one to one to many. That is a big step for a practitioner. If you're starting a business, let's say you've done a course or you've lived a life and you want to share your message with people and you want to turn that into books or events or whatever it is that you want to create, online programs, if you want to do that, you have to have the self-confidence. But a lot of the time, I'll be honest, a lot of people don't have that self-confidence. So how do you get the self-confidence? There's no easy way. There's 2 steps. First of all, is to have the belief. Now, that is just so easy to write down and so hard for a lot of people to apply, but you get my drift here. When you actually have the belief in yourself, whether it's to drive a car, if you have the belief that you're going to drive the car from here to the milk bar, you're pretty confident that you're going to do it. You can see where the loop's coming in here, right? If you don't have the belief that you actually are going to get to the milk bar, then you're not that confident that you're going to do it. However, the second part to confidence is having the actual, you've got belief, and then you've also got the confidence to actually do something. So, this is where a lot of people go, I'm just putting up the white flag. To go out and do something and to fail, because generally this will always end in failure. And it's a good thing to fail. What do they say? Fail fast, fail often. You need to fail in order to learn, in order to take a next step. So if you've got this stepping stone to success, it doesn't really happen that way. We often go to get up that step and we fall down with a thud, and then we go to get up again and we fall down with a thud, and we might fall down 5 times at the first step. To give you an example, putting together this whole brand took me about 5 years of dilly-dallying and going, oh, starting here and stopping there and starting here and stopping there. And there are so many ways that I can explain this to you, but it wasn't generally so much of a lack of belief in myself. It was a lack of confidence in actually doing something big. I just kept on doing small things. I'd do a talk here and I'd do a talk there. And it wasn't until I realized, you know what, I'm going to commit to doing something big and proper. And it might mean that I'm going to shoot to get up here. But you know what it means? That I actually have to start climbing the steps. And when I fall down, it's not about giving up. It's just like, right, I fell down and I get up again. So, do you have the confidence? Do you have the belief in yourself to develop that confidence to actually keep on getting up? Now, again, only exceptional people really do. 97% of people out there aren't going to be concerned if you want to start something, but you give it a go once or twice, you fall down, and you go back to your mediocre life. People aren't going to give you grief about that. What I'm asking you is your soul going to give you grief about it if you give up? Just because things are hard at the beginning, and they always are, they're supposed to be. You need to have a bit of beginner's luck, but you need to have some hard work as well. You must recognize that it's important to fail. It's important to learn lessons from these failures. If you don't like using the term failures, call them challenges or whatever it is that you'd like to do. But recognize that in order to gain this confidence, you've got to do stuff. You've got to do stuff. You've got to make progress, whether it's writing a blog, starting a website, a Facebook page. I've got people in the Exceptionals who have set up their own Facebook pages and their blogs and their websites, and it's just great to see. Doesn't come easy, but it's oh so important. All right, so we've got conviction, we've got confidence. The third C to having a successful business is clarity. Now, you may have heard me talk about this before, but there's clarity on so many different levels. First of all, there's clarity on your message. What exactly are you sharing? And then I'll just put in here, and who are you sharing it to? Who is your market? So again, using myself as an example, this Exceptional Life Blueprint, when it first started off, it was an aging well message. I found myself giving talks to people that were 65 plus. I had the local councils organising talks for me, and I'd give them to local people that were, again, all the marketing was towards older people. I'd be doing morning tea talks or afternoon tea talks or maybe a lunch talk, but it was for retired people, and it was all about the aging well message. And I realized very quickly this was not the space that I was going to craft my art in. It was not where I was going to be, because a lot of people aren't really that inspired to make changes in their life at that point. A lot of the feedback I got was, Marcus, that was a lovely talk, dear, but I'm too old for that. And that's when I recognized that my message was not for the the bulk, the 65 pluses only. Sure enough, as I've developed the Exceptional Life Blueprint, there are a number of people 65 plus who love the message, but they're the minority, because these are the people that have always had initiative, that have always made changes in their life, and they don't care if they're 65 or 75 or 85. They just love growing and developing and evolving. So clarity in the market. So as you can probably tell now, most of my market is somewhere between 25 and 55, mainly female. I do obviously have male clients, but I have a lot more female than male. And you know what? That's a reflection of me. I get on far more, I just get on better with women. I grew up in a house full of girls. My parents split up when I was 10, so I lived with my mum and my 2 sisters. I just have always got on better with girls, and so I'm not surprised, particularly also I'm in the health space and personal development. You see a lot more females in that space than you do males. So know your market and then know your message. I recognized very quickly that my message was not an aging well message. It was a whole life message that can be applied whether you're 15, 25, 35, 45, 85, it doesn't matter. So I had to get very clear on my message. And you know what I worked out? I worked out that in every single one of my talks, I kept on saying, so if you want to be the exception to the rule, if you want to be the exception to the rule, and I thought, you know what, I love talking about being exceptional and the exception to the rule. And that's what started off this exceptional life blueprint. But that took time. It took going through this process, conviction, confidence, clarity. But anyone can do this. And if you really have a heart and you really are burning inside to make this happen, have the belief that you can do it, and then go about working through this clarity process. But as you can see from my own experience already, it doesn't just happen. It can be a bit messy, but it's also worth it. Okay, so we've got conviction, we've got confidence, we've got clarity. What do you think the last one is? Cash flow. The 4th C. I know people that have conviction in their message and they know the products they're going to create. They've got confidence and they've got clarity, but you know what? They actually just don't sell their products. They don't do talks. They haven't set up their website properly. They haven't got an email list. They actually don't do any of the things to actually create a business for themselves. It's like unfulfilled potential. If you know me, I love sport. I don't like seeing sportsmen and women that don't fulfill their potential. And that doesn't just apply to the sports field. It applies to the business space as well. I know people, hopefully you're not one of them listening right now, but if you are, it's salvageable, who have got so much potential in this space, but they don't have the belief, they don't have the clarity, they don't have the conviction to actually turn themselves into a cash flow machine. It's great to make a business out of what you love. You don't have to be doing something that you don't love to do. If you know the Exceptional Life Blueprint, you know that it's doing what you love and loving what you do. This is where cash flow is so important because it allows you to do what you love and love what you do. It's very difficult in today's world to do what you love and love what you do without cash flow. So how does that work in this space? Obviously it means you need to have products. Now some people earn all of their income off one product, but it doesn't happen all that often. You are much wiser to have different levels. So what we call low tier, middle tier, and high tier. So your low tier might be somewhere between, and thanks to Brendan Burchard for exposing this to me for the first time, somewhere between 0 and say $250. Mid tier might be somewhere between 251 and let's say 997, sorry for the messy writing. And then high tier, let's just call it $1,000 plus. Now that can change across any different industry. In some industries, all of that just doesn't fit. In some industries, it's 0 to 5,000, and then 5 to 15,000, and then 15,000 plus. It depends where you're at. If you're in with medical or health professionals, those numbers are probably higher. Most of my clients are everyday human beings, and I'm not going down a business path with them straight away. I like to do the personal side of it. As if you're watching this, you probably have started off with the Exceptional Life Blueprint, which is all about you. And then if you're in the business space, then you've probably already noticed a lot of my business products like coaching, which is all to do with your business, and my one-day event, which I'll be talking about shortly, they are priced higher because it's a much different space. You can actually almost recognize how much money you can make off your investment. So I know, for example, when I did Brendan Burchard's Experts Academy course, it cost me $2,000. And then when I did my first launch for Exceptional Life Blueprint, implementing what I'd learned at that course, then I could actually go, well, I spent $2,000 here and I made this much here. Just at the beginning, at the launch, I can see how much that course was worth. That's sometimes a little bit difficult with personal stuff because what value do you put on raising the quality of your relationships? What value do you put on raising the quality of your nutrition? What value do you put on raising your social life? You can't put money so much on those things. You can calculate how much it might have cost you to go into surgery or into hospital if you've got a big healing that's occurred. But most of the time, personal stuff is harder to quantify from a financial perspective. So what is your low tier product, your mid tier product, and your high tier product? Now, stuff for you to think about. All of this is what I'll be going through at my exceptional purpose, passion, and profit one-day workshop in Byron Bay just after the Exceptional Life Blueprint weekend, Monday, June 22. I would love to have you there. If this is pushing your buttons and you know you obviously need to master these 4 C's, but if you haven't seen the other video, you might know that you need to master the 23 steps. Let me get this up. If you have a look at this here, you might know that you need to master all of this. And so this here is what I go through on the 22nd of June for one whole day, very intimate, small group, but we get intensive. I share everything with you. I share all my financials. That's something that a lot of people like to know about because they're wondering how they're going to transition from their job into this business, or if they're going to keep their job, how much are they expecting to make in this business. I tell you everything about my financials, my income, my expenses, how much does it cost to run this business, how much can you expect to earn, what kind of products should you be creating, what price should you be charging for them. Then I do other things like look at all the different ways which you can create content. If I move over here, we look at your online content like your podcast. How do you podcast? How do you interview? How do you research for podcasts? How do you, what questions do you line up? How do you recognize what's a good question, what's a bad question? How do you listen when you're interviewing, which is one of the bugs I have about interviewers that sometimes struggle to listen. How do you do videos well? How do you write blogs well? How do you, if you're going to do offline work, how do you be a great coach? How do you run great events? Now again, I only share this because this is all the stuff that I do. I don't share anything with you that I don't know how to do. I'm only an expert in what I think I do well. I don't share stuff that I don't feel like I do well. I'm not going to teach you how to play the piano. I'm not going to teach you how to speak French. I will just give you what I can tell you. So we go through the whys, what and hows of your business. We work through frameworks. We go through all the different parts here, content, collaborating with partners, cash flow. How do you do this full-time or how do you do this part-time? All type, equipment, software. Literally go through every single part of your business in one day. It's going to be a lot to take in, but if you are ready for this, I know if you're anything like me, when you're ready for it, you can absorb this like crazy. You will go home with plenty of materials. You will get all of this. This is the special thing. If you are coming to Byron and you've seen this video, the early bird price, you can see here, is $797. The regular price go up to $997. So if you're watching this, no, there's not much time. I would have already told you in the email or on this website how much longer there is to take advantage of the early bird special. But if you want to come to Exceptional Purpose, Passion and Profit, Monday, June 22, $797, this is what I also include. I forgot to say this the last time. Lunch is on me. We'll have a great lunch together where we can just more casually talk about what it is that we're learning on the day. I would love to have you along. I'm also throwing in one coaching call as well. So you get a bonus coaching call. We'll do that before or after the event, whatever you prefer, whether you want help implementing it or whether you need help getting some clarity before the event. That's valued at $275, including GST. So $797 or 2 payments of $447, whatever suits you best, with a coaching call Monday, June the 22nd. If it's your time to get clear, to get confident, to have conviction, and to create great cash flow, those 4 C's of success in your business, I would love to have you along. Until next time, as always, may the rest of your life truly be the best of your life.